In a world where news flies around every minute, you need the ability to relate and connect with what matters and stay up to date. Schengen Story Media News Echoes program is Africans in Diaspora and at Home's leading English news network, one of the most trusted, respected sources for news updates on current affairs as they affect global Africa. SSM's Wednesday Global Africa program brings to you our news stories, exclusive reporting, and SSM perspectives on the day's top news, plus the inside scoop on Africa's most important developing stories. Join us on Wednesdays, 11 a.m. West African time.
Indeed, we're here. We are here, viewers around the world. Good day to you. My name is Mark Godwin, and we're here on our Wednesday Global Africa update. Joining me as usual are my coordinators, partners from different parts of the world. In Lagos, Nigeria is the man that has good news this morning, Ogbeni Olayinka Raji.
Good morning, Mark.
You were telling me something backstage, and that's a good one. Congratulations, big man.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Good morning, viewers around the world. Welcome to our Wednesday program. Always educative, always interesting, always a nice time to be, a pleasant time to be.
Pleasant time to be. So, yeah. Big brother, the talk of a family member getting elevated, it's a beautiful thing. We love when progress are made and achievements are also enhanced. It builds up, So congratulations again for our viewers listening. Ogbeni Olayinka Raji, take note, it's not a young man. That's a grandfather and a very big family man. Now, one of the children, one of the daughters, is now a certified architect. Is that correct, Raji?
Yes, please. Thank you very so much. Thank you.
Nice. Raji, before we go into the news, there's something very interesting I'm seeing here because they are my friends, Ruben and this other man. Now, the senator, he's now a senator, senator representing Edo North, Adams Oshomole, has dared arise TV anchor and former presidential spokesman Dr. Ruben Abati to a fight. Raji, so is it now wrestling because of arguments? Do we now have to begin to as it comes to that, Raji?
Normally, when one's when one's argument is becoming very watery, it's likely that the person will now turn physical.
Okay.
And I think it's a very dangerous step for Adams Oshomole to want to tackle Ruben Abati. As far as I can see, Ruben Abati seems to be much more bigger and stronger and younger than Adams Oshomole. Even though I saw Adams on the treadmill some time ago, I didn't know that he was preparing for a fight.
The whole thing is like a joke. So funny. Now, don't think that for our viewers watching, these are the two pictures of the two people there. Ruben Abati, the dark-colored man, is a TV anchor presenter, and Adams Oshomole is a senator. Now, Adams says Ruben disrespected him in his comment while he had him on an interview. And now he says he dares him to a fight. Now, Raji, size don't matter. So the size,
Okay.
I mean, man could be big, could look huge, but the other man, the senator Oshomole, like you said, looks very fit. I've seen him dance. I've seen him do some acrobatic moves, and I wonder if he's, if he's really the age he is, because I think he's close to 70, So Ruben should be careful. That man will tackle him down any day.
So, Mark, you know,
Yes.
when you live in a country
Mhm.
where things are every day, you have something to laugh about. It's a very good country indeed. In spite of all the economic hardships, there's never a day that you don't have something interesting to talk about in Nigeria. We don't
Very
take
funny.
ourselves too seriously, so there's
Okay.
always something to laugh about, and
Okay.
it is very good
Okay.
for our health. That's why the country is thriving.
Yes, it's good for the health anyway, because
It's good
if
for health.
people
Yes.
are to remain sober with
Hmm.
situations of things, it might really knock a lot of people out. So
There's
I
a lot
think the
of comic
jives,
relief.
yeah, the
There's a lot
jives
of
and the
comic
comic,
relief coming on. Hmm.
is good. Yes, Raji, I agree with you on that one.
Yes.
But also the youth, the young people should also know when to draw the line. Not
Right.
everything should be comical, not everything is funny. Some issues are to be tackled red face.
See, the Yoruba
Uh-huh.
people will tell you, my Yoruba people will tell you that when things become too serious, instead of crying, you had better start laughing.
Yes, Fela Anikulagu Kuti. I used to listen to his music back in the days. There's a song he sang. There's an expression he makes that says, "Laugh, laugh, catch monkey." Now, laugh, laugh,
Hmm.
catch monkey is an expression where something has become too crazy, out of context.
Hmm.
Something very bizarre and all that. But you just have to laugh. It
Just have
becomes
to.
fun. You just have to laugh. All right, Raji, thank you for this. Good one to start the day. Viewers, you're welcome. You're tuned in to Wednesday, the 14th of May, 2025, and we're here on our Wednesday of Global Africa update. Raji, now let's come to more issues that should not be laughed at, serious issues. The former Vice President, Usibanjo, says that Africa faced worst debt crisis in 80 years. 80 years, imagine. He said, in the midst of the rising insecurity, a lot of things are really, really going the other way. He was stressing on the economic distress. He was stressing on what has happened since COVID
Hmm.
pandemic, and how millions of people have fallen into poverty all over Africa. Let's talk about this, Raji. Is the
Yeah.
comment of the former vice president correct?
Yes. And
Mm-hmm.
it's a very serious comment. It's a very
Okay.
serious observation in the light of the fact that recently we have seen in the in Nigerian papers where Tinubu is supposed to have paid all our IMF debt. You see, when government involves itself in too much propaganda, it is not decent. It is shameless.
Okay.
We are in serious debt, and in fact, I wonder how our people survive, because as an employer of labor, I know how much I have to spend to survive on my own, not to talk
Mm,
of my staff. The poverty level has increased so much to the extent that I wonder how Nigerians survive. I
mm,
wonder how Nigerians survive. If with the population of less than 200 million, we have become the poverty capital of the world,
mm,
where countries like Pakistan living with more than 400 million, Bangladesh with more than 200 million, India with more than 1.2 million, 1.2 billion, and China with more than 1.4 billion are not considered to be poverty capitals. I wonder
again.
what the government will be saying to tell us that, oh, we are not owing. If you are not owing, it is not showing in the people. We are seriously
Mm,
in debt.
mm.
And every
Raji,
Nigerian is
mhm.
in debt.
Every Nigeria is in debt.
Yes.
Mm. Raji, okay, viewers, that's the former vice president there under Buhari's administration, Yemi Osibanjo. On Monday, he was making a speech in Freetown, Sierra Leone, Raji, he was buttressing more on the continent as a group on Africa.
Yes.
He was stressing more on the continent itself. And he says 39 million people all over Africa have slipped into poverty. So you are also breaking it down, making us see the Nigerian own context. And you can imagine what most small African countries are going through. The Sierra Leone, where he was speaking, is going through a lot too. Freetown has become a capital of squalor and poverty, like we see that the picture you're seeing there. So Raji, it's not just Nigeria, it's all over Africa. Now, how do we get out of this whole thing, Raji? Food is not on the table. Children are not more going to school. The streets are not safe. There are now more criminals, more miscreants running our streets in Africa. It's a very, very serious problem, Raji.
You see, for instance, I always have to develop to Nigeria because I live in Nigeria. Yes, I may make some reference to Ghana because I also in contact with Ghana.
Yes, you have
contact. Now, most of our products, production. In fact, we have debased farming. There was a time when subsistence farming provided food for the immediate family. Now we are not doing that. We are not doing that. But a lot of our farm products are for export. It's rather than concentrating more on farming, our government is concentrating on foreign exchange coming in, and then spending the dollars that they get in for so-called infrastructure, rather than stepping back and say, look, first and foremost, we need to feed our people. When Putin came in as the head of Russia, the first thing he did was a country that cannot feed itself cannot be anything in the world. If you can't feed yourself, there's no progress for you. No matter how many buildings you have, no matter how good your cities look, if you cannot feed yourself, you are not alive. You are just existing. So until we start to concentrate on feeding ourselves instead of farming to export cocoa, groundnut, shea butter, and things, let us first of all feed ourselves. Live within our means for the moment. Stop all those unnecessary infrastructure.
Okay. Stop all those unnecessary infrastructure. Now, talking about feeding ourselves, it's terrible that it's a sad thing that in that very fertile land that Africa has, arable land, big space of uncultivated land, we're not into farming. We're not cultivating, we're not producing food. We're relying on so many things, and I see so many people complaining. They will bring a fish that looks like rubber and say, see the kind of fish China is bringing to us now. Now, we're not supposed to complain, make those criticisms if we can't do it. I mean, China is probably eating rubber fish or plastic fish because probably that's what they like. That's for them, you know. So if we need to stop complaining, we need to produce our own. But sadly, nobody is doing much in that space. The government is not supporting small-time farmers. Raji, is that not so?
No. You see, let us not blame the government always. Let us. In the beginning, how were we feeding ourselves? We had subsistence farming, farming to produce food for local consumption. Now the government has moved emphasis from that, and they are going into mechanized farming. Mechanized farming is only good for producing cash crops. Cash crops are mainly for export.
Export.
Yes. how can Nigeria be depending on importation of wheat for flour and all those things when we have a lot of yam? Then we now come to something that has been going on for more than 12 years now, which I see as something that has been, I don't know whether it is sustainable, it is deliberate or some, that the whole of our food basket across Benue and Plateau have become a war zone, where insecurity is so much that the people cannot even go to their farm to feed themselves.
Okay.
And then a lot of, because they are not farming to feed themselves, a lot of those who should be farmers have moved into big cities and they have abandoned their farms. It has crept down south.
This issue you just brought up now is where I was coming to. We've addressed this several times on this network, but some other colleagues see otherwise. You know, they say it's not true. Some of our other friends. Now it's still happening, Raji. As of last week, we still have more villagers in those farm oriented cities leaving farming, leaving their profession, running away because some guys are coming to take over, kill them. And it's sad. So we'll come to another story now in lieu to that what we were saying. Raji, let's talk about Sterling Bank. Let's talk business now. Sterling Bank says they want to give collateral loans to small businesses, people that are ready to go into medium, small enterprises. But Raji, is that true in Lagos State? Is that true? Did you hear that news? Sterling Bank trying to help small businesses.
Yes.
Okay, tell us.
But let us be very, very factual. No bank is going to give you money that you are not going to pay back.
Okay.
No bank will give you money.
Okay.
If they have the inkling that you are not going to be able to pay back. So whatever medium or whatever, they are going to giving it to farmers who are already in existence, maybe chicken farmers and things, who have cash flow.
Okay.
To sustain sustain that business. That business, yes.
So viewers, if you're listening, you have people in Africa, in Nigeria that wants to access this loan. Sterling Bank says that they're giving out loans for small businesses. But Raji just said something important now. No bank will give a loan to somebody that will not pay back. So that's why we encourage people to get started now. I mean, get started in something. Well, no matter how small it may be, let's start something. Let's start farming. Even if it's at the back of a house, let's start. Even if it's 5 chicken, 2 goats, or whatever, let's start now, because we can't be talking and complaining, and the year goes by, nothing is happening. Raji, let's start now, so that when probably at a particular point in time, you could also access this loan, because this loan is coming out now. We got this news directly from Sterling Bank yesterday, saying they want to support 10,000 SME, small, medium enterprises with some cash. So
now,
it will be.
Now, when you go into the nitty-gritty of that loan, you now want to know that any SME, you have to submit something like a business plan, so that their money will not go into a sinkhole.
Okay.
There's actually no. Now, I heard about a story. Was it in Belgium or Netherlands, where the government encouraged people by giving them two fowls, 2 chickens.
Okay, to start farming.
On the basis, yes, so that you give every household a chicken, and then let's see how we can do across the villages. I think there's something that could happen, where you give family 2 chickens, and let's see within 6 months, can you produce enough eggs for yourself? Okay. Can you grow up this chicken? to maybe 4 in the next 1 year, and let's see the effect of it after maybe a year or two.
A year or two.
Let's see what happens. Yes.
By
the time you are able to sustain yourself on X, you are able to at least start some things for yourself.
That could be an idea that Africa could imbibe too. You know, just start something. You see, we need to we don't understand that initial effort of starting something. You know, it could be very hard, but boom, at the point you see that thing goes. So Reggie, maybe this could be put out to some stakeholders in Africa to look into, give families a certain amount of crop or livestock, whatever, and let's start something in Africa. Let's get out of this poverty. Our former VP has made the noise. He said it's sad, the level of poverty, the level of people out of school, children out of school, the level of insecurity, all of this adds to what has plunged Africa, you know, since COVID-19.
You know, so just an aside.
Yes,
the former VP was in power for 8 years. Is there any project that he started that gives him justification to now condemn or to now make comment on the state of poverty in Africa? Did he do anything to alleviate that?
Yes, Raji, I know he. That's the picture there, viewers. If you're watching, that's Yemi, former Vice President Yemi Osibanjo. Raji, he was into the APC government that time had one market women market initiative, market something, giving grant. I think 10,000 naira to support market women, petty traders. He was in charge of that that committee, and with the report he gave was, yes, they did some distribution around Nigeria.
There are a lot of motion, very little movement.
A lot of motion, very little movement. Okay. All right, Raji, let's move on. So that's Sterling Bank for you there. Those of you that are on small businesses, see how you can access the loan. They say they are giving up to 10 million to 100,000 people in SME, small, medium enterprises. And that's a picture of the Lagos State Governor standing with the staff of Sterling Bank to kick off the initiative. Thank you, Raji. Thank you. So moving on, Raji, let's come to something also that is close to what we're talking about. And you were talking about people leaving their farmland to go to leaving their farm business, farm occupation. Raji, that's serious. Tell us more. These states in Nigeria where, for example, crops they are more into agriculture, why wouldn't the government really deploy troops to assist these farmers? We know the government has done a little bit of that before, but it doesn't look like it's yielding much, and they need to do more. More soldiers, more troops sent along with these farmers. Raji, what do you say?
You see, the rural-urban drift is historical, but recently it has been accelerated by the invasion of all these farmlands by aliens, mainly aliens, Fulani from outside the country, who have disrupted the lives of hundreds of thousands of people across the Middle Belt. It seems as if, as has been said before, if insurgency lasts for more than 48 hours, then the government or the people in government are involved. So you cannot tell me that there's no complicity. with between the and there's no group sustaining the invasion of all these areas for whatever
Now,
reason.
mhm.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, in lieu with what you're saying, Raji, there's a video making round in on social media. It's a video of what you're saying. Oh, very very terrible, very very sad. There's this raid that happened last week. I know you remember in Borno.
Mm,
Borno and Yobe so far have been hit the most with terrorist attack.
mm.
Now let's see this clip and we'll talk.
God, no mercy. God, Boko Haram, they dislodge us. Oh God, my Lord. Oh God, my Lord. Boko Haram, they pack everything, go. They pack everything, go. It's normal. All do, sir. Okay, normal, no, sir. Me, I no get load. I dey tell you, I dey go. They burn our MRAP. They pack everything. They pack everything, see our MRAP here. Oh God. This guy don't get equipment for Maritio. God. Yes, sir. Hi, sir. Kai, see how these guys they do with us. Oh. Kai. See the Boko Haram, they burn our motor all. They pack everything here. See my motor. See my motor. God. I thank God for life. See my motor. See my motor. I thank God for my life. I thank God for my life.
Okay. Viewers, yes, you might say it's unedited clip. That's how we are here in SSM. We bring it raw the way it is, no filter, nothing. Now, what you just saw is a soldier in the Marti barracks in Borno State, north of Nigeria, and he's walking us through the wreck, the carnage of what happened the day before, where Boko Haram terrorists came and blew up the whole barrack and they broke into the armory and took guns and arms and everything. Raji, we're talking about farmers. Now, even the soldiers themselves, imagine the security people of the country being attacked like this. And upon all of this, Raji, sadly enough, Nigerian Senate, the Senate House, is still deliberating whether to send troops or not. As of yesterday, they were still asking those that want to vote if they should send troops to deploy troops to those areas and face off with Boko Haram. Raji, this is where we see ourselves. Tell us, what do you know? What could you say about this whole thing?
Now let's look at the case of what happened in Ukoma, in the Niger Delta, when 6 soldiers were killed by some people in the village. Immediately, the president issued an order. The whole village was razed to the ground. Their elders were arrested and taken to the police. This happened in the Niger Delta, where our oil is produced. And this happened in a village. Now, how is it? It now brings you to question how our military is. That a group of terrorists could invade our military barracks. This is not the first time, this is not the second time, this is not the third time. And rout all our soldiers, kill our soldiers, and break into the armory, cut away arms and ammunition. And yet, it is now a case of debate in the National Assembly. I think there's something wrong in the line of command. The line of command. I think there's something fundamentally wrong in our military setup. think there's something. And there are a lot of too many gaps and too many suspicious gaps, because I don't think there were 2 or 3 Boko Haram people who came in. I don't think that as they were coming, nobody saw them.
Yes.
I don't think that, and I don't think that when they got to the barracks gate, I don't think whether there was a welcome party for them. So I'm surprised. I'm not a military man, but I'm surprised that
it turned out like that.
They could breach the whole barracks, get to the armory, unless I don't want to believe that there's no collusion.
But Reggie, with the video we saw, you can see heavy wreck, heavy carnage. I mean, it's not small. All the big trucks, those
it wasn't done.
tanks.
It wasn't done in 2 minutes. It was done.
Yes.
It took a long time to do. So where were our soldiers? Were they sleeping? Were they on leave?
Okay. But you know, some soldiers were killed too.
Meanwhile, you cannot drive 1 kilometer anywhere in the southeast and not find military patrol.
Okay. So why let's talk about this, Raji. Okay, Raji, let's go on a short break. It's 1:30 now. Let's go on a short break. Raji, please hold tight on what you're saying, because it's good. You see, one could be living a life of falsehood and pretending and just saying things, you know, and also one could just say own up to issues and face things the way they are. So viewers, let's come back. Small break. See you on the other end. Thank you.
Here are 3 things that I absolutely loved about Nigeria. Number 1, I fit in. I fit in. Melanin, caramel, chocolate, mocha, whatever you may call it, I fit in, baby. I felt at home. I didn't feel out of place. I didn't feel like anybody was staring at me. Nobody was looking at me strange when I walked around in the stores. I mean, everybody was minding their own business. Number 2, the people. I mean, Nigerians are a vibe. The diverse culture, the different tribes, the different religions, the people are a vibe, okay? Whatever it is that you're looking for, they got it in Nigeria, okay? And they see you. They notice you. There's a sense of community. People care. Yes. And of course, you might be woken up at 2 a.m. because there's church going on the loudspeaker, but hey, nothing wrong with a little godliness, okay? Relax. Number 3, I love that Nigerians are resilient. They are resilient. Very ambitious and resilient people. They don't depend on the government for anything. They will figure out how they can take care of themselves. They see their systems. They know it's messed up. And guess what? They still thrive and they still figure out a way to make it work. So shout out to all my Nigerians. You are nothing but queens and kings in my eyes. If you're an LDR couple and you're not yet following us, what are you waiting for? Make sure you engage from the bottom up and we'll do the same. I'll see you in the next video.
Nigeria, we hail thee, our own dear native land. Though tribe and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Nigerian soul, are proud to serve our sovereign motherland.
SSM's Wednesday Global Africa program brings to you our news stories, exclusive reporting, and SSM perspectives on the day's top news. Plus, the inside scoop on Africa's most important developing stories. Join us on Wednesdays, 11 a.m. West African time.
Yes, viewers, you're welcome back to SSM Wednesday, 14th May 2025. We're here on our Global Africa updates. Raji, let's go back to what we're discussing. You see, it's 2 of us today, and probably there are more time to say some things. Why is the government concentrating in the southwest, southeast with troop deployment instead of this core north where the situation is critical? The situation is out of control. People are dying. People are being thrown out of their ancestral land, and farmers can't farm. All of this problem, and no, they are not sending troops there. Raji, tell us, what do you know?
The closest I've been to in the military was being a member of the Boy Scout, and then a member of the Man who will be in the university. So I don't understand the logic of this deployment. But I would have thought that there'll be more people, there'll be more military presence and more military awareness and more military consciousness in the areas which is being ravaged by Boko Haram presence. But I don't think I don't understand the logic of those deployments.
Now imagine this whole thing that happened in Mate, Borno State. We saw the video. Imagine the house yesterday in the Senate House, the Red Chamber. They are still deliberating. They are still looking for votes if to send troops to that area. They are still waiting for. Can you imagine? Can you beat that?
No, it is not for the National Assembly to decide troop movement. There should be there's a National Security Agency. There's a DSS and all those things.
No,
I'm sure by now they will not.
Yesterday,
I'm sure. Yes.
Yesterday, it was a discussion in the House.
Was there a discussion in the House about deploying the soldiers to go and ravage? Hold on. I'm asking a question. To go and ravage Ukoma. Was there a debate at all? There was a presidential directive.
Okay. So why are they debating on this one now? Why is this one being talked about?
Especially in a supposedly war zone, where there are hundreds of thousands, where so many incidents of like manner had happened. This is not the first time Boko Haram has attacked places in Borno. They regularly attack places in Borno. And yet, the National Assembly is debating troop movement. Meanwhile, in Okuama, within an hour, there was a presidential directive. And then the Ministry of Defense had issued a statement, and troops were moving into the village.
Okay, thank you, Raji. Yes, very strange things happening there. We need to know why it takes time for there to be that first a counterattack when those Boko Haram come to those areas. We need to know why there is hesitation.
Should there even be a counterattack? Should there even be a counterattack? Shouldn't there be a serious alertness all around the areas, especially
offensive attack instead of reprisal one? Yes, Raji, it shows that there is something about this Boko Haram and the Nigerian government, because
if insurgency persists for more than 48 hours, there is something more beneath it.
If any politician or any of those in terms of power will want to take us to a street fight for saying what we're saying, we're ready to fight. We're ready to come out and bring our karate.
Massive Mark, I think you might have missed the meeting of the northern governors, the northern people, where they discuss all this insecurity thing, and where they are now trying to bring up the issue of state police. Be careful of the Greek when they bring you gifts.
Okay.
Most of the North have been against state police for so long.
Okay.
Now Now they are coming to state police.
Now they are coming to state police.
Why is it?
Now,
Why is it that it is the federal government that should be securing the north? Why
okay.
why is the north not securing itself from all the bandits, not the herdsmen, not the kidnappers who have been ravaging selected areas across the north?
So talking of that, let's come to another topic here, Raji. Russia pledges military assistance to Nigeria to help the security threats and everything. Now, is it not interesting that Russia is coming to our aid? Russia that is also in a war situation on its own. But they say this is a picture there. We see the picture of the Russian defense minister and our chief of defense staff, Christopher Musa. When Christopher Musa paid the Russians some condolence visits during the 80th anniversary of the Second World War. So the question now is, Raji, is it not a shame that we are just going around looking for all these military assistance, and we're not even, nothing is even coming out of all the assistance yet?
Where is the shame in this? Was Ukraine not supplying us wheat?
Okay.
Is Ukraine not in the war?
Okay. Okay.
So is it? Do not let us bring in any emotions or sentiments. I saw a video where during Jonathan's time, we're using mercenaries to go after the Boko Haram people, and they were almost decimated. But then Jonathan was forced to withdraw those mercenaries. Can't we even use the method that the mercenaries were using against the Boko Haram? They were using technology.
But you know, there are so many disadvantages of using mercenaries, because most times those mercenaries could also come against, you know, which of the mercenaries do you really trust? I mean, we had the Wagner mercenary from Russia.
Please, as I was saying, the mercenaries were using technology to find the locations of all those things. Why was it so difficult for the government, or for those who are supposedly backing Boko Haram? Why did they have to force Jonathan to stop that process?
Okay.
We all see the frustrations that Jonathan had to go through when the first Chibok 100 children were kidnapped, and there was no uproar across the north, but rather they were blaming the Jonathan for failure. If 100 chickens were stolen in my village, I'm sure the whole village will be up to find the thief. How much more 100 young children? So let us accept that there's something behind the whole scene that is not open to us. That's why even the logistic movement of the military is shrouded in some illogicality that I cannot even understand.
Illogicalities that we cannot even
understand. We still go back to the saying.
Yes.
Was it that if insurgency or banditry persists for more than 48 hours, there's something else behind it?
Okay, thank you, Raji. So viewers, that's it there. Russia pledges military assistance to Nigeria in this rising security threat. We hope something fruitful will come out of this. We've seen too many assistance being given to the army, to the military, to all of these arms, but nothing is forthcoming. We saw the one with the English, the British army, and nothing much. We still have continuous Boko Haram attack, even in our barrack, in our military barracks. This is really, it's unbelievable. All right, Raji, thank you for that. You said it so well. Raji, let's move on to something also that is serious in Africa, and that is that Mali. Let's talk about Mali, Raji. Mali presently is facing some issues, and Mali has decided to dissolve all political parties because the junta, the military government in power, says most of those political parties are doing anti-party activities. Raji, are you following Mali and what's happening there? Mm-hmm.
I'm even surprised that it's coming this late.
Okay.
Because when the power comes in, the first thing to do is to disable all the other existing powers. You cannot share power or authority with anybody else. There has to be a single authority in any country or in any community. Where there are parallel authorities, I'm sure there will be a conflict of interest on both sides.
On both sides.
So I'm not surprised that he has banned all those politicians and all those parties.
Okay, thank you. So yes, Mali has dissolved all political party, and he says they are doing things that are anti-party activities going on. So that's the Malian president, the military president for now, Assimi Goïta. Assimi Goïta is a junta leader of Mali, and he has dissolved all political party. Raji, let's begin to round up now. Let's come to something also very serious happening. We thought Trump was putting his feet out against immigrants and refugees, but on Monday we saw something else, Raji. Dozens of white South Africans being welcomed into the United States as refugees. Let's see a clip on that and we'll talk about it, Raji. So what you're saying, what you just saw there are those refugees, group of white South Africans granted refugee status in America. Trump says they are suffering oppression. Black people in South Africa are oppressing the white people now. But Raji, we know that Elon, Trump's main man, right-hand man, we know he's from South Africa, and these are his people. These are his group of people. You know, they call them Afrikaans. So why is there a change of Trump's law on immigration and refugee status? Now he's harboring white people. Is it this same white supremacy mentality? Raji, what do you think?
Is it the logic of government? Most government is quite shady to me.
Yes.
Unless maybe when I get into government and I'm privy to certain documents, maybe my own thinking may change. But then going back to South Africa, was Trump not fighting with the Ramaphosa?
Okay.
And probably even expelled the South African ambassador to US. So he's fighting with the government of South Africa and taking in South African citizens. But at the back of all this is a subsisting issue that should have been handled more than 40, 50 years ago. And that is the land question in South Africa. Whether you like it or not, that land question will eventually come up. Because there's no number of years that a colonialist will occupy somebody's native land and ship that native onto infertile land, force that person into poverty, be farming on the native land and making money to the detriment of the original owners of the land. Eventually, that land question will come up. And I'm sure, and I can tell you that it is like a sword of Damocles hanging above the head of every white South African in South Africa. It was the same land question that Mugabe was persuaded to put aside, so that the granting of the independence to the granting of majority rule to South Africa could be effected. He was tricked to accept it, and he accepted it, and there was supposed to be some funding that he was supposed to get in lieu of that. Unfortunately, Thatcher scammed Mugabe, thinking that Mugabe was a fool. So it was after that Mugabe decided that, look, the original owners of the land will have to revert to those lands, and therefore the white people who were occupying those lands were driven out. Some came to Nigeria, to Songa Farm. Some they went all over the place, but because of that, also the economy of Zimbabwe was brought to its knees. In spite of that, Zimbabwe is still surviving. A dollar could exchange for 1 trillion Zimbabwean dollars, but they are still surviving, and they will survive. That question will come to South Africa very soon. Sooner or later, it will be a question in South Africa. And the earlier they resort to it, the better for the white South Africans.
The earlier they resort to it, the better for the white South African. Okay, Raji, the present issue now is these dozens of white South Africans that are now refugees, that have come as refugees. And one thing about the whole thing is more are on their way coming. Many more will be joining suit. Yes, many more will be joining.
Better for South Africa.
Is it better for them?
Better for South Africa. Let the whites move if they want to move.
But some of these families also claim South Africa. You know, some of them they've been there generations past.
My people who make black soap, they wrap it in leaves. They wrap it in leaves, and they will tell you, no matter how long the leaf is wrapped against the black soap, it cannot foam, it cannot lather like the black soap.
Like the black soap.
Yes. The land belongs to the blacks. No matter how long the Afrikaners have been in South Africa, they cannot claim ownership of the land.
The land. Okay, viewers, you're seeing pictures of what the first group of white refugees. They say they are fleeing persecution in South Africa. They are arriving in the United States, and now there is also a new refugee program being arranged for them in America that we thought Trump was against anybody that is not American. So strange times.
I think it's a matter of the color of your skin.
It's a matter of the color of your skin.
Yes. If you are Latino, who has more right to American land, because most of Mexico, up to Texas, were originally most of Texas were originally Mexican land. Yes. So they have more rights to those lands than all the refugees they are bringing from South Africa. And those refugees are actually complicating their own lives, because now they will be like bats. They are neither beast or whatever. You are living where you could at least have some claim of being there for maybe 100 years, to come to be a refugee in a place where you are starting day one. It's a very, very dicey thing to do.
Well, there are many South Africans like them now that have they've now enter. They're now in the American database as like an American. They are now being enlisted in the system and all that. So it's easy for white people to get those benefits, those privileges. You know, wow, Raji, we did it. We did it, Raji. Thank you for coming through. Raji, is there something you want to say? Anything you want to add to what we've been discussing? Beautiful
it's always
discussion
about Nigeria. I'm sure Nigeria is a very beautiful country. Nigeria could be a much more beautiful, habitable country than it is now. May God give our leaders more sense to be able to hold the country together and help us transform it from a mere geographic expression into a nation in which all of us will be proud. Nigeria is so blessed. We have everything we need to make this country a nation. May God help us all.
May God help us all. And viewers, what you saw there while Raji was talking is a picture from the archives of SSM of the initial founders, the initial elders, and those that also arranged this sovereignty called Nigeria.
The guy in suit is probably from the southern Cameroon.
Okay. Yes.
Southern Cameroon would have been part of Nigeria.
Yes. The southern Cameroon. Yes, that's true.
Yes.
Good one, Raji. Okay. So on this note, Raji, want to say thank you for coming. Thank you, viewers. Wednesday global news updates. We'll be here on Friday, and until then, have a beautiful week. And see you.
Thank you. And a thank you message for our viewers. God bless you indeed.
God bless them, really. All right, Raji. Bye-bye.
Okay.
In a world where news flies around every minute, you need the ability to relate and connect with what matters and stay up to date. Schengen Story Media News Echoes program is Africans in Diaspora and at Home's leading English news network, one of the most trusted, respected